Hello, and welcome to another edition of PaynePoints of Interest, where we talk about and answer questions relating to all things in small business. So grab your coffee and sit back and join us as we start the discussion. Hey guys, I'm your host, Sarah Harbuck, and with me is Ray Coleman. How's it going?
Hi.
And today, producer Megan Harbuck is going to chime in on some of our topics.
I know that I'm y'all's favorite.
She is.
Yes,
We're
indeed.
good with it.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever. It's good. This week we've done something a little different, and every day we've answered questions that are more personal and based on our own personal experience and, just our own, favorites. And Dapple, it sounds like, wants to tell us what his favorite is. But we're going to talk first. We're answering the question of what's your favorite activity, pastime, hobby that you like to engage in after a long week of work? Ray, take it away.
All right. Long week of work. I'm trying to wind down. I'm going to want to cook something. Actually, it's not true. That's the end of the long week. It's actually end of every day.
Yes. Your whole Instagram is dedicated to food and eating.
I've got a whole, I don't have, that is a thing, eating.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't do the whole video of eating. Maybe I should, but I find it a little, that's a little bit too weird for me.
Yeah.
I'm just, the whole thing, you guys understand, I'm 41 years old. A lot of my ways are set.
Yeah.
And so when something new happens, I'm like, yeah, I see you guys doing it. That's fine.
That's good
Not
for y'all.
me.
I'm going to be over here doing my thing.
But cooking is definitely my thing. And so producing the food, learning about food, I watch a lot of food shows. I practice different techniques. Like, all those things are things that I do just because it gives me energy.
Yeah.
I'm not getting
and then you
paid
have a
for
tasty
it.
result at the end.
Yeah, but I have no desire to turn that into a business. I've got no desire to make a banquet for 30. This is just something that makes me happy, and it releases the stress from doing other things.
Well, something that the listeners might not know is that you and your daughters have gluten allergies, and so you have to be on a special kind of, not in a special diet per se, but you have to be careful with the things that you guys ingest and consume.
Yeah, I in particular have just almost a dozen food allergies. It's quite a few. And my daughter is allergic to very common staple items, such like chicken eggs.
Yes.
And, so being able to adjust a recipe that is a common recipe takes a lot more energy and money than it does for everyone else in the world. And
so you got to love it to want to do all that. Yeah.
And it's one of those things where, I don't, I've never been that person who, begrudges anyone else, their lives. So, you have a birthday cake, and that's a great cake for you, and I'm glad you got it. We can't partake, and that's fine. We're going to make our own birthday cake and bring it to your party. That's been my...
It was always a challenge whenever we were doing birthday parties for, Ava. I was always like, okay, I got to make a whole set of cupcakes just for Audrey and her family because I feel bad that they'd be coming to my house and there's nothing they're going to be able to eat unless it's just the ice cream, and then you got the whole dairy thing, too. So.
And we definitely appreciate when people say, oh, that's really nice of you, because we know that it costs you 3 times what it normally costs to make the same thing. And so, I really appreciate that, and I try and reach out. But at the same time, if I come to your party, I'm not going to expect you to feed me if I can't eat it. I'm just going to bring your own food. So, look, guys, don't be insulted here. But
yeah, I mean, that's totally.
We brought our own cookies.
I appreciate it
you
when
can
people
have
a dietary restriction. Like my stepmother, she's got a bunch of allergies as well. And so when we do any kind of holiday preparation for, food or whatever, she brings her own things because the rest of us can eat one thing and she can't have that. And, So, Megan, when you have a long and frustrating week or just a long week and you want to kick back and relax, what do you do?
I mean, typically I kind of just catch up on whatever's in my YouTube. I have things scheduled throughout the week that I look forward to. Mm-hmm. For example, on Wednesdays, my favorite podcast, Ask Me About K-Pop, comes out. Mm-hmm. Nipsey's a little bit sad about that, but don't worry about him. So on Wednesday, Ask Me About K-Pop comes out. On Thursdays, an episode of my favorite anime comes out. Sundays, I have a chapter of a manga that I read come out. So, I kind of have things that boost me up all week.
What is that favorite anime? We all want to know.
So on Thursday, that favorite anime is called If My Favorite Pop Idol Made It to the Budokan, I Would Die.
I know that sounds like a very long, involved title, but it's actually pretty common. That's like,
With anime, yeah.
And
With
then
anime.
and then on Sunday, it's Demon Slayer.
okay.
But I kind of plan for once or twice a month to go to a K-pop concert. At the beginning of the year, that was more of a reality for me. I had one like basically every week, and at the end of that marathon, I was like, okay, I'm ready to just like be in bed. And so typically on a Sunday, which is my only day off, I do laundry. I take my dog on a long walk. I cook like Ray does. But I think because I have things scheduled throughout the week that kind of pep me back up, that motivate me, I don't know. I guess I don't really have any like super big pastimes or hobbies besides that.
Yeah.
K-pop is my hobby.
And so yeah,
Yeah, I would say that about you.
K-pop is your thing,
Yeah.
and but it's not as if it's not an important hobby.
Yeah.
You
'Cause
know,
it's
it's
something
like-
I can do all the time.
Yeah, like, like people oftentimes say they don't have any hobbies, and you're like, well, what about the thing that you do every day? So, well, that's not really a hobby. That's just something that I like to do. It's
That's
like,
a
well,
hobby.
that's what the hobby is.
That's a hobby. I think they're probably thinking in terms of something where you go to a particular place and you engage in an activity like
Well, they're thinking
playing
about
golf.
like baseball. Or
Yeah,
so,
yeah. And, I feel like your generation especially is much more engaged online with like their hobbies than anything else.
Or they think it's got something that like is well, I don't collect anything, and I'm not into baseball cards or stamps. It's like, dude,
That's fine.
it's whatever you enjoy.
Yeah.
A lot of people play video games. It's an incredibly involved hobby.
That's my decompressor right there. I will pop in Zelda, Breath of the Wild, or even Mario Kart, something silly.
So we got a Nintendo girl here.
I am a Nintendo girl, although, I will play things like Diablo or whatever. Back in the day, it was on the PC, but they have made it
Right.
to where you can play them on the console. I like the first-person role-player ones where you hunt for things and you kill things sometimes that get in your way.
I really feel like that's your personality, so I'm not shocked by that at all.
But I enjoy the sort of escapism. I like to read. I used to do it a lot more, but unfortunately I've gotten older, and so that if I sit down to read, I'll get through 3 pages and then I fall asleep.
You know what? You were into movies back in the day. Are you still into movies?
I mean, sure, yeah. I'm not keeping up with all the ones that before I used to work at a video store, so I could see everything new that came out, and now I tend to limit it to only things that interest me, which be that as it may. But yes, I do tend to watch a lot of things, especially now that we have the streaming services.
I would say you watch more
Netflix-
TV.
Netflix original. Well,
Yeah.
I do now because I like
The series
story driven. For it to continue. Whereas a movie ends after an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Do you know what's kind of weird? I really feel like the streaming services have taken kind of the fun out of watching movies
You
for
think?
me, because they're so easy to get now. It's just a matter of
I
selecting.
love that about it, though.
So, well, I used to enjoy going to Blockbuster and
Well,
having to go through
true,
the
true.
aisles and look at all the boxes and
True.
read the back of them. Like, it was such an
You could
experience for me.
you were taking a bigger chance because if you rented it and you got it home and you got 30 minutes into it, this is crap. You were screwed.
Yeah, and then so you were you could then tell your friends, yeah, that's a shitty movie.
Yeah.
I watched the whole thing, of course, because I paid $5 for it.
Right.
But, I mean, it's
I
sort
like the
of
convenience of streaming because then I don't have to leave my house.
but it makes it seems like it makes it less of a hobby for me.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
I used to, cause I had the same hobby, where I was really into movies, and so I watched all of them. And I don't think there's a movie that came out before 1999 that I haven't seen.
Yeah,
I've
exactly.
seen all of them.
Yeah.
And today, I think I've watched probably 7 movies in the last 20 years. I mean, something ridiculous.
Well, I mean, when we were in high school, I used to go. We'd go to the movies all the time. That was the
Yeah.
thing to do.
No,
You would see a
absolutely.
movie every weekend, practically.
Price gouging. It's expensive for Generation Z to go to the movies.
No, seriously.
it
it's
is very expensive.
Yeah, I mean, back in our day, it was like $4
We had
maybe.
we had a dollar show.
We did have the dollar movie
There was
theater
a dollar
here.
movie theater in Lufkin for years
Yeah.
and years.
And
it cost
our-
us $1.
Like
Yeah.
SFA may still have their movie theater.
You have a
but
student ID.
Exactly.
So it's not the same. It's expensive to go to the movies now.
Yeah, you pay $1,200 to go to the movies and you go to SFA.
If our
with a
family
student
of
ID.
5 goes and,
It's
we
like
get
$70.
popcorn and the tickets and maybe like a drink to split, it's a lot. It's like 60 or 70 bucks.
$60 probably.
So, like, talking about movies, that is, when I mentioned that, I agree with you that it kind of takes the fun out of it in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But my brother and I will go and see or my siblings and I, to broaden it, we'll go and see specialized movies that are coming out in Houston and not where we live.
No wide
Okay.
wide
So,
distribution.
Yeah.
a special anime movie or a special, like, K-pop documentary.
Yeah.
And that's kind of making a day of it. I like to plan, I guess, bigger things.
Yeah,
Like, save up
that's
for
making
that.
a thing. Like I feel that's how my family being my wife, me, and my kid, we were living out east, and they had a couple of drive-ins nearby, and that was incredible for me.
Yeah.
Like
so
that
nostalgic.
was that's the greatest thing ever. That is like the best way to watch movies, in my opinion, is in a drive-in, because you get to have your own little space. The food is always 10 times better than what you get at a regular theater because that's their only means of income.
Yeah.
It's going to be from the concession stands. And you can sit there through all the movies. And if you don't like one, just get out of your car and have a picnic outside and
There
play soccer.
used to be playgrounds at a lot of them.
Exactly.
you
And
know.
so it's just like it's a fun thing. And if there was one nearby, I would absolutely make a whole day of it to go down to the drive-in.
I depending on the time of year, I'll get into a habit of crocheting or watercolor. Because of all the pets and especially the cats, I tend to do a lot of my artistic stuff on my iPad now, just because the animals like, oh, what are you doing up here, Mom? Can I be involved? Let me
Can I
spill
go
your
ahead-
water
Yeah.
everywhere.
Can I destroy what you're doing?
Yeah,
Great.
so, and I feel like stuff like that, just where you create something, even if it's just for yourself and you're doodling it, I've definitely told people over the years, just because it's a hobby doesn't mean you have to turn it into a career.
Right.
And, I made that mistake with photography. And while I had a great career for the time that I did it, I kind of wish now I hadn't. Because, to me, it's like so
Because
much work to
it-
pick up
now-
a camera
now
and
it's
take a
less of
picture.
a hobby,
Yeah,
right?
it's a job. So, yeah, little crafty things like that tend to fill my soul.
One of the other hobbies that
joy.
we've picked up recently is nature walking.
Yeah.
Let's go to because we got trails here in East Texas, so just go to a trail and
And right
walk
now is
with
a
the
beautiful
kids.
time of year for it.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like I mean, the trees are trying to murder you.
Yeah.
With all of the pollen, but other than that, it's absolutely fantastic, and it's just something like do it twice a week, maybe. It's not something that's like it's a we're bivouacking and we're buying specialty gear. We all have water packs. Like that's not it.
Yeah.
We're just trying to get out into nature a little bit, and it's relaxing. It's a true hobby.
And, it's like we talked about earlier in the week, like kind of disconnecting from, being so connected. You go outside and you walk around and you put your phone in your back pocket or you leave it in your car and you have that little break from all the chaos of the world going on. And you just kind of, these trees are really pretty, even though they are sending out their murder dust.
Right. Guys, like literally, I got into a car and had to run my windshield wipers to get the pollen off my windshield. It was literally a cloud of yellow dust
Yes.
came out my windshield. So we're very serious. When we say that pollen is a big thing here, it's a huge thing.
Right. And all of us coughing, it's to due to that more than any of the other viruses.
Yeah, no,
that are
yeah.
going
If you
around.
like, if you're coughing here, like I'm not suspicious of you.
No.
Of course you're coughing.
Yeah.
I was at Target yesterday and I was coughing because I had just eaten something and I guess it was getting stuck in my throat. And man, y'all
All
would
the
have
looks-
seen the dirty looks I got.
So do we have to quarantine her right now?
Yep. Quarantine.
I will put a bag on this little redhead right now and put her in the trunk.
Well, luckily my brother was there with me and he just he glared right back to everybody.
Yeah. Yes. Xander and his resting bitch face. It's great.
This episode is going to be our first one marked as explicit. I hope that y'all know that.
Oh, no.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Did we do that? Who
Sorry,
did that?
guys. Sorry.
Which
It's
one
okay.
of you did that? That wasn't me.
I think that was you.
No, you started it.
Oh.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's going to wrap us up for today. We wanted to continue our week of giving a shout out to our local business and local friends, Loud House CrossFit. They are located at 205 East Frank, Lufkin, Texas. They have a website, loudhousecrossfit.com, and you can find them on just about any social media at Loud House CrossFit. These guys are a health and wellness and fitness center. You should check them out if that is your thing. Some people, their hobby is fitness, and CrossFit is one of those things, and you should really jump on that. These guys are very active on social media, and they seem to have a lot of things going on. And it's not really my thing, but I'm gonna support them from a distance and watch them sweat their butt off. So anyway, you should check them out if you're interested in CrossFit of any kind or any kind of exercise. That's going to wrap us up for today. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, if you guys have any questions or comments or things you want to add to today's podcast, like your hobbies and things that you do on the weekends, you should hit us up on our social media at PaynePoints.com. Facebook and LinkedIn at PaynePoints, Instagram at Payne.points, and Twitter at PointsPayne. You can now call or text us at 855-PAYNEPT. That's 855-729-6378. We hope everybody has a great day. Now let's get to work.
See you later.
Goodbye.